Good evening, everyone. We start formally the today's session, which is the first, we are naming this sync session, which are real life Zoom session for this Data 650 class. And we will have several of them during the semester, not each week, but let's say every 2 or 3 weeks, we will have this type of sync session just to get on track, because the course is, we understand, very packed and intense with not only material like all other data classes, but with a lot of different technology which make it more difficult to succeed. So we are on top of that. Today, we are going to be, will be myself, Elena Gorchev, which I'm the program director from the data analytic program and faculty member since 2002. So I've been teaching this course consistently for quite a bit. With us is the Professor Ozan, who is teaching the other section. So this semester, I'm teaching the 90-40 section, and Professor Ozan is teaching the section 90-41. Our support for technology will be Elena Batenskaya, who is in the role of teaching assistant. And the most amazing thing, she's been with us for quite a bit time and is graduate from our master degree program. So Elena, if you can say a few words of yourself.
Sure.
I know.
If I need to say, most of you already met me. When you took Data 610, I was managing your Cognos account. So that's the same Elena. And remember, my first name starts with a letter Y, right? So, and I have my master's degree from UMGC, and it's in the database. But in database, they have some courses in common, like you had the Data 630, right? Which is DBST 667, and they're also doing the big data now. So, you know, right? Okay, I look forward to work with everybody this semester.
Professor Ozan is still not here, and Lini Shimov is moving to a new position, so he won't be supporting us this semester. Okay. That's our the new stuff. So today we are going to give a brief, since this is the first week, we're going to do an introduction to the course, the more general thing, so you understand, because many people historically are coming to this course with some idea, which at the end, when they end the course, is totally different. And it's not that they are coming with wrong idea, it's not that the course is wrong, nothing like this. The thing is, the term big data has been in the hype for quite a bit, not anymore. And everyone has some idea which portion is consistent with the way technology evolved, with the way data analytic evolved, and some are not, and some are evolving, not that they are wrong. We are just correcting our knowledge each day with the new things coming up. So it's very important this session to get the big, let's say, the big idea, not the detail. The detail we are going to do each and every week with each and every assignment, discussion, and reading. So we are going to talk also about the grading, some miscellaneous issue, the activity for this week, the support with the technology, how it has to be, and of course, you will have Q&A session to post your question and answer it right here in this section. Any question, just keep for yourself. And when you have some that you cannot hold anymore, post in the chat, and we will be answering question and answer at the end. So the idea of big data, everyone already coming to this, which is almost at the end of the program, everyone has the idea what big data is. And the thing is, we have to be clear, because the thing is not just that we are talking about data and the size of the data. We're talking about everything which encompasses the technology related with dealing with big data. And this is related, when we talk about big data, we're talking about everything. The difficulty to capture data, to store them, to search, to share, to analyze and visualize. That's are the main reason the technology has evolved to make possible to deal with the data which exceeds size or difficulty. So we're talking about new tool which appeared when the size of data become awkward big and still growing, and when the structure of the data is not possible to manage with the existing technology today. What we are talking about is historically, this slide represents how everything evolved by the necessity of company like YouTube, Twitter, Yahoo. All they start producing enormous amount of data, and then the technology at hand was available. At some point, we're talking about back in history in 2010, the technology appeared. We're talking about cluster computing, we're talking about Hadoop, and everything appeared because the technology was ready to help with the amount of data these companies start producing and needed to be processed and get something useful of this data. So we're talking about the industry necessity by one hand and the technology on the other hand, which makes this possible. Historically, that is what happened 10 years ago, and then Hadoop appeared to deal with the problem at that point. Technology evolved all this time. We're talking about already 12 years since then, and then things have changed. And we have to focus on this slide. Here is the key, and here is very important you understand what is this course about today. This course 10 years ago was other thing because the landscape was totally different. And today is different because what we are talking about is different, not just size of data, but different type of data and different complexity of the data. And this slide represents the bottom part, which are the totally unstructured data. Here we are talking about free text. The free text we have in document, in PDF, and images, in video, everything we have in Facebook, everything we have in LinkedIn, in social network, in Twitter, or wherever. So that is the big chunk of information we are talking today, and that is going to be our main focus because the difficulty today to deal is exactly with this data. This type of data, we are talking about free text, images, and video. So the other type of data, you have dealt already with them in other classes, which are like quasi-structured. We're talking about a web click stream, or HTML, which is semi-structured, which have some structure, and the completely structured data, which everyone, when we talk of data, thinks about table, row, and column, and data put in complete defined structure of table with row and column. This is true for only very small, let's say, portion of what big data deal today. Not because it's not important, but the thing is the key to deal with this structured data is already well known. There is no difficulty. We have all the technology. All the difficulties here on the bottom part, on the unstructured data, and every company today, small or big, it doesn't matter, governmental, private, has to deal with this data. And as a data scientist, data analyst, the job you are going to find, you will have to deal with this. So our main focus is on the unstructured data. So that's why I want to stress this. I don't know, I'm just repeating this like a broken record. Why? Because still at the end of the course, I find student at the end of the course, what we deal is with the AI application, which is to deal exactly with this type of data. And they say, no, but this is not big data. How is not big data? All unstructured data, because they don't have structure, we don't have defined method to deal with them, is, let's say, the big part of the most important part today of big data. So I want, since the beginning of the class, everyone to grasp the idea about big data and not just focus on Hadoop, which is history. We still have something here on the top, let's put it this way. And in the unstructured data, Hadoop is important, but it's the technology which is evolving, and Hadoop is not, today is not sufficient to deal with big data. We are going to go to many other technology and approaches to deal with unstructured data. So of course, I'm going to provide the slide all together with the recording for this session today, and you will have the opportunity to review in your own. So pay attention in this slide, the presentation of the different type of structured, semi-structured, quasi-structured, and totally unstructured data. And every time you approach a problem to solve as a data scientist, data analyst, make sure you understand which type of data you are working with, and then which methods and technology are appropriate for this type of data. Because when there is some, even not totally structured, but quasi-structured data, like the clickstream, you don't have to apply the methodology of the totally unstructured free text to the quasi-structured data. So keep this in mind and think what is your problem and choose the appropriate methodology to work with it and the appropriate technology. And I'm coming again to the important point we are making, that we are going to deal with the unstructured data mostly in this class. All the difficulty are there. Why? Because they are coming from the natural language processing challenge, and we understand how complex is our language to understand. Even if we want the computer can understand and interpret this, can you imagine just we as a human communicating each other, how much uncertainty sometimes is in our communication, because the complexity is so big that you cannot, for instance, explain why do we feel in a form by filling it out. I mean, there are a lot of contradiction in our natural language processing, a lot of complexity. So you cannot use the traditional table, let's say the traditional table to put structured data in column and row to understand totally unstructured data. For instance, if you put this sentence, which I have to the right, of unstructured data, which reads, if leadership is an art, then surely Jack Welch has proved himself a master painter during his tenure at GE. So as a human, you understand this. In order to put this in a table in structured format, the way we've been dealing with data for 30 years, you miss portion of the information in this sentence. So in structured format will be Jack Welch as a person, an organization, General Electric. But all other things that Jack Welch actually was in the leadership role in GE, in General Electric, you won't see in this structured table, right? You need the whole sentence in order to understand the role of Jack Welch, that he was successful because the sentence named him a master painter during his tenure, during the time he was in the leadership role at General Electric. So this is just an example to make you understand how important is to deal with free text, and what we are going to do in this class is focusing in what today is a problem, and what today as a data scientist, data analyst, you will have to deal. Of course, the advancement of technology is going to provide you with a lot of advanced tools, starting with packages in Python and other which we are going to deal in this class. So here we come to this part. The course still has the title Big Data Analytic, but actually the traditional big data analytic is just the first 5 weeks of the course, let's put it this way. Because as you know, over the last 3 or 4 years, machine learning has evolved so much that you read, and everywhere you read indistinctly machine learning and artificial intelligence, and they are used indistinctly. And this is what is happening. Is a portion of our course is actually the evolution of big data, give this, let's say, advancement in machine learning, because machine learning was able to train the model with a lot of data, with rich data set, produce it with what is big data, and then machine learning proved much more successful over the last year and permitted the advancement what is the today contemporary artificial intelligence. Contemporary AI is just the blend of the evolution of big data that give evolvement in machine learning, and took all together the classical idea of AI, only the practical part of them. What that means? Only the practical part of the classical AI. Only the practical part means that we are today using the contemporary AI not to substitute human. This is today used, that's why it's used indistinctly as a machine learning. We're talking about this AI, which today everyone talks about, the indistinctly machine learning AI, machine learning AI. The one which is not to substitute human being, is to make human more productive, is to substitute some task, not the decision which the human has to make. So some tasks, some repetitive task, human is substituted by the today contemporary AI. And I want that you keep in mind this graphic all the time, and you keep this very close every time we do something in this class, and how this is related with big data analytic, actually very naturally. And beyond our, let's say, influence, we cannot do anything about this. This is the way the technology and this subject is evolving, and our task is to learn what is there and how we can use it, and how you can use it in your future job. So here I want to clarify, because the confusion about using indistinctly machine learning and in AI, we should understand that AI is more than machine learning. We're going to focus mostly in that part which is closely related with machine learning, but AI is more than this. Let's put it this way, as a definition to be clear, and let me return. What is the contemporary AI, which is this intersection, is actually the practical part of AI, which started in the 50th and has evolved up to today. Machine learning is the techniques which AI uses today. So that's why they are used indistinctly. The techniques is machine learning, and the subject is AI, contemporary AI. So that is the distinction. If you wish to be completely clear, what is the difference between machine learning and AI? So machine learning is the techniques and AI is the subject. Okay. So moving on, what is the part of data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, again, represented in this box overarching. Machine learning is inside the techniques. For artificial intelligence, of course, deep learning is kind of machine learning, is inside box. And all this data science is overarching, and it's not completely AI. It's much more the machine learning. You have been in this program, you know that you did a lot of stuff in data 610, data 620, which is not machine learning. You started with the machine learning in data 630. So data science is overarching the subject of machine learning and deep learning, and is much more than this. I think these two slides you have to keep in mind every time and not to get confused when we talk. And of course, during the course, we are going to talk all about this all the time and discussing from different point of view with no problem until we get the complete clarity. So returning to big data, traditionally, this is very traditional thing about when we deal with big data. Of course, we first will need the technology, starting with where we store data. We started with all this data island, data warehouse, analytics sandbox, and everything evolved until we get to this diagram, which represent the today approach for data science about infrastructure, which comprise everything from storage of big data to analyzing big data and getting insight from this data. So traditionally, I have the traditional, let's say, approach, which is to the left, which user determine what is the problem, what question is asked, and then ask IT people to build for them a structure that will answer this question, usually a data warehouse, right? And it would take 6 months for IT to build this data warehouse, and then the reports are run all the time and getting data. If you need something else, you will need to make another request and another 6 months. And of course, you see that this approach, with the complexity of big data we are talking about, is not going to work. And everything, of course, has evolved. And everything has evolved, let's say, simultaneously. The discipline of data science have evolved all together, like the technology. We have, in the last 5 years, we are talking about everything in the cloud. And of course, cloud has reshaped what is infrastructure. Cloud has provided very cheap, inexpensive possibility. Any enterprise can have the infrastructure in the cloud. And then this blends all together with the necessity of data science. So the new approach, the big data analytic approach, is totally different from the traditional. Everything in the cloud. IT deliver a platform which enable the data scientists creatively select the tool at hand, which will help solve the problem. So you define the problem and you have deployed in the enterprise cloud, which is hosted somewhere else, even not in the enterprise, is outsourced service, which is the whole IT infrastructure of the company you are working. And in this platform, IT platform in the cloud. As a data analyst, you will have all the tools, the database, and all the analytical tool you may need in order to solve any problem. And you creatively will pick up, choose whichever serve to solve the problem. So that is what is represented in the right hand, the today approach. And of course, the question can be posed constantly, different problem, and solve with the existing infrastructure without making any additional request to IT on the fly. You as a data scientist, data analyst can go to the infrastructure built for the company, and you have at hand everything to pick, to choose and pick which is needed to solve the problem you have at hand. So this is the today.
Lena, looks like we lost your audio.
Yeah, I think we lost her also.
Open in the chat. Oh, maybe she needs to log out and log back in. We'll see. But I don't know about the recording though. It's still recording, which is good. Let me see. I think she'll be rejoining us soon. Hopefully. But in the meantime, so hopefully you guys started to creating the IBM Cloud account. So one thing is that when you apply the code, I wanted to mention that right after you apply the code, you may need to log out and log back in, because sometimes it does not automatically refresh the number of days you have an account. I wanted to mention it. Okay. While we're still waiting for Elena, Professor Gertrude, right? I wanted to mention that. Okay.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Then at some point in December, what you could do is you get another code and it will give you access for another half a year. Because some students in Data 670, they like to use the IBM Cloud. So, so I don't know, I don't want to ping her. She might be rejoining, but While we're waiting for her, what else would you like me to tell you? So you'll be using IBM Cloud, and that starts from assignment 2. First assignment, you're not using the IBM Cloud yet, so that gives you sufficient time to set up the account. First assignment is more theoretical on the age base, right? And what else you've got? You've got the quizzes, but the quizzes are, the time you get is not limited, right? Unlimited time and unlimited number of attempts. But for that to happen, the questions are selected randomly from the pool. So when you retake the quiz, you may not get the same questions, right? On next attempt, some questions could be different. Some could be the same. And also the order of answer choices is random. So just to keep in mind this. Well, you may see the clock going, but it's just for the statistical purposes. Otherwise, it's not timed. So, well, maybe I lied. It will, the session, when it will time out, right? When the session becomes idle, whatever the idle time, session idle time in Lewis. So, yeah. Another thing is that some weeks you're gonna have ungraded exercises. They're required because, trust me, some of the ungraded exercises could reappear as graded in the next assignment, and you'll see that, right? Okay, let me see, is Vivian rejoined? Oh, I don't see her still. Oh, I thought I heard somebody joining. Well, I hope she didn't lose power because we have some power outages in the area, but I don't know. Well, should I try calling her or, well, we'll see. Anyways, I have a copy of the slides, so I can tell. There is part that I was going to talk about, so let me see. But I'm unable to share because I'm not the meeting host, but let me see. Somewhere.
And are these slides available on
Yeah, will
the?
be. Yeah, the slides will be posted when the recording is posted. Oh, looks like Elena is back. Hi, Elena. So while we were waiting for you, I talked a little bit about the IBM Cloud account. After applying the code, it's important to log out and log back in because sometimes the page does not update itself. That's what. Elena? I see you back, but I don't know if you're about it. Oh, hello, Elena, you're back, right? That's good.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, we were talking about IBM Cloud. I just said that when you create an account, when you apply the code, you need to refresh the page. The page doesn't refresh itself.
Did you show something?
I did not show anything, but we just talked a little bit. I did not show anything, Elena. No.
Okay, okay. Let me open the presentation again.
Yes.
And hopefully it's not, okay, we're right here. Where we left. And this is recording all the time, let's put it this way.
I can edit it. I can take it out the session.
No, it's recording. It's
okay.
recording. So I think this diagram, I finished it. Everyone learned that we are using this new approach, that the whole infrastructure is in the cloud, and you can pick up the tool which you need. And that is what you are going to find in your future job. If not immediately, but your future job will be using this approach. And of course, this approach is evolving because the technology is going so fast that we cannot imagine even what is the next thing. Nobody of you, I would guess, when started, well, you started recently, but let's say people who started the data analytic program 6 years ago, we didn't talk about AI 6 years ago. We talk about big data was more traditional approach to big data, but things has evolved, and actually who gave birth to AI is the big data. The big data busted machine learning, and here we are with AI. So moving forward, this is regarding what is big data. Let's just very quickly talk about the course, which is like all the courses in the data analytic program is based on project. You will do the learning the way we've been doing in all other courses, which is you read, you try to understand the material, you're testing with all small quizzes, sometimes graded, ungraded. You have the possibility to retake them many times until actually you understand the reading, and then you proceed to apply what you have read in a project, which is using technology, using different technology, different software packages, let's put it this way. And that is what it is. I want to point something that, I mean, is very important. You do the ungraded quizzes and all ungraded assignment, or which have very small portions sometimes from the grade. Why? Because some students tend to think, well, I'm graded in the project, so I'm going right there and start clicking. And this usually produce a lot of frustration. And at the end of the day, it's not just the frustration. We try to help, but we cannot help too much. Because if you don't understand what you are doing, because you didn't read, you didn't complete the reading because, oh, the time is so compressed, I don't have time to read all these things, I'm just start clicking. And let's put it this way, beside the frustration, there is no benefits. Even if you get it right, that it works and you get some acceptable grade, you are not taking the benefits to you, because you actually were blindly getting something, but without understanding what is this about. And I don't want how much to stress how important this. We understand the course is intense. This is 6 credit courses, which means 2 courses in 1 in 12 weeks. This is totally understandable, and everyone has family, full-time job, in addition to the COVID time we are living. We totally understand that, but that is the way the course is. So try to do your best and try to follow the way you should learn. Read, understand, and then proceed clicking to the practical assignment, which is finally you will be graded. I just want to very briefly mention that you are in a program which is already well recognized with different recognition. I have comprised some of them here. This is because I understand that some of you are starting and never attended a session which we have, an introductory section for the program, so you can understand the whole program. Some of you are just enrolled course by course, but you don't have the idea about the program until you, well, now you have, because you are almost at the end of the program. So it is very important you to understand that the program has different recognition from different technology, distance education, professional organization, and in addition, students from our program have participated in international global competition with 200, 300 teams and have won very prestigious first, second, third place in this competition. So keep in mind just to be proud that you are part of this program. Now, regarding the course itself, don't miss to go to the syllabus. here is just a summary of the schedule. And what I want to point here is what we are going to do each week. The course is organized in module because the subjects are so broad, we cannot break something to complete 1 week and then go to the following. So we have, for instance, 2 weeks on Hadoop. We have 2 weeks in the introductory Spark with SQL, and then 2 more in the machine learning Spark. So Spark is the big chunk of big data today, and that's why we are spending 4 weeks on Spark. Then we proceed to how to deal with textual data, doing some practical example with sentiment analysis and using techniques of big data, which is in memory analytics. I mean, different technology. So in the first part, we explore the technology of Spark and Hadoop, which is cluster computing. And then we go to other application, which is also very important big data technology, which is in memory analytics. So this is what we are going to do with 7, 8, and 9. And we are going to culminate exploring this technology with application of sentiment analysis. Then we are going to proceed to the contemporary AI, which is here in cognitive analytic application. And at the end, you are going to build what is a chatbot. Some of you missed the point why the chatbot is here in this course. Well, we're talking about something which is not where you see everywhere. We're talking about how to build this intelligent agent which understand human language. We're not talking about understand speaking. It doesn't matter, writing and speak is the natural language, and they are intelligent enough with built on the back machine learning, and they can learn and improve themselves and talk about what is intelligent agent. That is the culmination. And of course, we are in this part taking advantage of what is textual data, understanding and building, powering something useful today in many corners of our life. So having said that, you will see to the far right part, the right column, live session. That means session like today, which is course introduction, we're going to have for Spark in week 3 and in week 5 for the machine learning part. Then we will have a walkthrough to the new technology in memory analytics for the sentiment analysis. And then we have a walkthrough for the cognitive analytic in week 11. If you look, I want to point your attention, very important. If you look how your assignment folder is set, you won't see assignment 2. You can go and look right now in your Leo classroom. You won't see assignment 2, you won't see assignment 3. Why? Because they are conditional in what is named Spark tutorial. As soon as you submit Spark tutorial, assignment 2 opens individually for each student as soon as you submit Spark tutorial. Why? Because at no point you can proceed to assignment 2 without completing the Spark tutorial. So that's why it's set up this way. But as soon as you submit Spark tutorial, it doesn't matter at what point, you will see individually assignment 2, not the whole class. This is individually set for you. The same thing is for assignment 3. You don't see assignment 3 now in your assignment 4, and you won't see until you complete the sentiment analysis tutorial. So this is very important to keep in mind. Don't think there is difference between what you see here in what is in the syllabus, this is and what is in the Leo classroom. It's totally consistent. It's just a condition, and that is giving us the best result. You need to have minimal knowledge about Spark in order to tackle assignment 2. You need to have minimum knowledge about sentiment analysis and working in memory analytics before proceeding to assignment 3. And for the assignment 4, we open it since the beginning, but we have another conditional thing. There is a document which is named vocabulary. All this vocabulary you must read and understand before before starting assignment 4. Very important, not to get frustrated and to get advantage to understand what you are doing and why you are doing it. So again, here is the summary of the 4 major assignment. Even if you don't see them in your assignment folder, these are assignment 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just 2 and 3 have some condition to complete before doing the major assignment. I would like to point out that the most difficult assignment are 2, but actually 3. Assignment 3 is the most difficult. Why? Because it takes together everything: text analysis, sentiment analysis, new working in the IBM Cloud, whichever, and then using RStudio in the cloud and using in-memory analytic services in the cloud. So it's all this blend of different tool and technology in order to solve application problem. And all difficulty is not created artificially to make your life difficult. All this complexity is built at purpose, so you get trained in order to connect different services in the cloud, and you solve a problem using different tools which are actually the most appropriate to do this type of task. And again, this RStudio, which you are going to use, is not the RStudio you have in your computer, is the RStudio in the cloud. And you have to learn how to deal with this technology when everything is in the cloud. The data and the processing capability, everything there. So the grading is like the grading in the whole graduate school consistently from previous classes. In general, the grade is in the 80 if you do what you are asked to do. In order to get the A, I mean 90 and upper, you have to go above and beyond with in-depth analysis. Very important. So the minimum is B and you go above and beyond in order to get the A. I want just to get a break and give this to Yelena to explain how to get help with the technology. So today the TA are not in the classroom. You cannot ask the TA directly in the classroom in the discussion board question. If you need help with the software and the technology, you need to open a ticket, and it's very well explained here in the classroom. You have the screenshot in the course content, and then you scroll all the way down, please, and you see how to open what is named as Salesforce ticket for your help. And very importantly, when you drop down of the case type, you select the UMGC virtual lab, nothing other. If you select by mistake any other thing, you're not gonna get help, unfortunately, because we even don't know where it goes. This is a system which is for all different type of support UMGC is providing. And in order to get help with the technology in data classes, you must select UMGC virtual lab. And you must fill the form correctly with everything which is explained here. Don't miss the class, because if you don't put data 650, if you by mistake, let's say, either omit this or put different number, this is going to go somewhere else. And then you will be wondering, oh, I'm not getting help. Well, It's very important you pay attention. Elena, open to
Yes.
your comment here, please.
Well, I was just going to say that the cases will be answered in order that they were received in, but it's not necessarily the time when you submit the case if you don't follow the instructions. It's a time when the cases were received in a correct queue, right? It's a data queue, and it has to be the correct course, because the way it's set up is that if you enter data 640, then that case gets picked up by another TA who's, I believe, it's John, right? Data 640. And later on, he's going to send me an email. He's going to contact, hey, Elena, this looks here, it's your case. Then I'm going to tell him, please assign it to me. But the timestamp that you're getting is a timestamp when John forwarded me the case. See what I'm saying? So it's like when you fill out the ticket incorrectly, it's equivalent to standing in the wrong line in the store. Like, what, for instance, you're staying in the car wash line instead of car rental line, something like that. You get redirected and you're standing at the back of the line. So just keep that in mind. To get the assistance faster, you need to fill out the ticket correctly, right? So hopefully all of you did at least one case before, right? Okay.
Well, not everyone, but
Almost.
let's put it this way. I understand that you feel this is a little cumbersome, but that is the way it is, and it's out of our control.
It's across the board, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So we will learn more. I even in the announcement, I put a video recorded which explains how to do this. If you never done it, I will tell. Don't feel bad if in this class you never open a ticket in previous 630 and 640, but now you feel you have to. Don't feel bad about this. I can tell you this class is much more difficult because look, I have summarized all the different technology you will have to learn in this simple class. You know, you will work for some of the thing in the IBM Cloud, and there is a sub cloud, which is where you are going to work with Watson Cognitive, with DB2, which are the Park Cloud, which is named Watson Cloud Park, which is a subset of the platform of the IBM Cloud. So all this and the different services we are going to use, the number of them is really extensive, let's put it this way. And you will be working with Python, R, and SQL, which presumably up to here, you are okay already with them because you worked with them in 640, and 630, and 620. So here is just to use your skill. And we understand you cannot get, let's say, to the higher fluency level in one class. We understand that in each and every class, you will have to improve your Python, your R, your SQL skill. That is understandable, but you must have already some basic skill on this if you, since you have completed the previous class. So don't feel bad if you feel overwhelmed with the technology. This is just a natural culmination how data science evolved and is the imminent need employer one that you are trained at least at minimum and you understand as a data scientist how to work in the cloud, how to use different services, how to connect to services to get the task you need, and how to connect service with data, which is to get insight from data. So that is, and all this is not to make your life difficult. All this is what employer want. And we try to put the, let's say, what is manageable in 12-week class for you to get, let's say, like very basic idea of this. We don't expect you to be expert on any of this after finishing the class. After finishing the class, you will reach some basic level to submit the assignment, but that's it. After that, you are on your own to continue exploring this, this material and everything which is in the class for 4 months more. you have access to the resources there, and you have access to the cloud, and you can continue working in the cloud on your own and have access to different resources in the cloud and do more on your own and grow in the field of data science and analytics. So just to get used it, we are asking you from the beginning to get your IBM Cloud account. I'm just putting here for those of you who have not done this yet, how it looks like, and you will see when you go to catalog, expand the number of services. So the other one, what we're using is Watson Studio from here, and then the IBM Cloud Park, which formerly Watson Studio, you will be actually doing your projects here. So let's start step by step, even though in the first 2 weeks, we are not going to use the IBM Cloud. Our first assignment is not programming, it's just pseudocode. Yes, is a design of NoSQL database with, after you learn everything related with Hadoop. So we want you to create your IBM account so you are ready for week 3 with the technology, because there is no time. Week 1 and 2, you will be working on assignment which is not related with programming directly. It's just pseudocode for HBase. So I still have here what is Watson, and we are going to explore, in addition to everything I showed before, the famous Watson, famous 7 years ago, which won Jeopardy, and this evolved. During 7 years, IBM has evolved from this very expensive computer to provide this as a very inexpensive, very cheap services, which are different part of this, let's say, artificial intelligence computer, which they built with, for some application. Now they deployed the different part of IBM Watson as a services. So you have services for natural language understanding, translation, speech to text, and you name it, and you will have the opportunity to explore them and to use them with practical application for some of the project. So this part I'm leaving to Elena.
Well, I know that it sounds funny, it might be like a broken record, but trust me, I mean, some of the things that people did that make them not do as well as they wanted to do, right? So, I mean, of course, a lot of the assignments, well, I think it's nothing different, right? From other courses, you cannot do it in one sitting. You have to start early, right? Don't wait until the last day, because you start to get into a panic, and you know what happens when you cannot focus, right? So start early, do the readings, start as early as you can. Then please do not submit any IBM tickets, because you need to contact us first. Your first line of assistance is the TA, all right? So most of the time we can get by without submitting tickets. Please do not enter credit card information on your IBM Cloud account. In addition to incurring the cost, what happened is that as a TA, I don't have the paid account. So I don't know how the interface works on a paid account. See, that's the thing. I won't be able to support paid accounts because I don't have one. It's not the same as the academic account that we're going to be using for this course, right?
So Elena, just to stress on this, let me clear, you should not contact for any reason IBM, no contact in IBM.
Mm-hmm.
And if it happened that you decide that you want to pay, think about that. We are not supporting you. You are on your own. What is going to happen? We have no idea How much it's gonna cost? We have no idea. So it's not our liability. So please, please, please follow the instruction. No credit card. At any moment, no credit card. We never are gonna ask you to put a credit card to do the assignment.
Right.
So
Yes, and I know that might sound silly, but please do not deactivate your IBM Cloud account. Some people say, oh, wait a minute, I did something wrong, let me do it, let me create it all over. No, you cannot do it. Okay, do not deactivate the account. And also, remember that if your account expires, you cannot reinstate it. So basically, if you are, well, I'm not sure if any of you are, repeating the course for any reason, if your account has expired, then you're gonna need to talk to me about options. But at some point in December, make sure you get another code and it will give you an access for your next semester, right? If you choose to use IBM Cloud account for your data 670s, some people do so. Yeah, make sure your account does not expire. Okay, deal? No deal? Deal. Now, what should you do? You want to spend time effectively, and Professor Garchov already talked about it, right? That you have
yes.
to read. Yes, you have to read everything.
Yeah, we talk about this.
Right.
So let's move to the.
That's it. Oh, this is where to post questions.
Yeah. So this is for your information, this table. And
Yes.
keep in mind that for technology, you will have to open ticket. If the issue is private, let's put it this way, send email to the instructor. But if the issue is related with the material, everyone will benefit. I mean, general question, syllable, whatever related with the material, we have a topic question for the instructor, please post them. And keep the email only for things which are totally individually and there is no need to share with the class. And for any software, of course, you need to open the ticket that's explained it in the class. So I want to see if the, yes?
Yeah, I was going to say there is another discussion thread. If you notice any broken links, then you report it there.
To the instructor, yes.
Yes, yes. So there is a separate thread for broken links, right? And instructor will take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we appreciate because this happens constantly. You understand, we work with a lot of external link because this is the way the technology evolved. There is no time to write book about this, you know. So we have to live this way in this subject. So any question, we are here to answer. You can post them in the chat, or if you want, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Oh, another thing that I wanted to say, if you have a scheduled session, right, for Spark or anything like that, if you cannot make the session, but if you have questions, feel free to email the questions. We'll make sure to address them, okay? Just keep that in mind.
Oh, I stopped sharing, but I don't know if needed, I can go back to any of the slide. Now is very important. We answer whatever question you may have. I don't see anything in the chat. No question, guys.
Don't feel shy. It's your opportunity to ask questions.
Well, it seems, I don't know, talking to, maybe there is just the beginning and they haven't warmed it up. I don't know, just give me, let me know what is going on. And
Well, maybe the fact that done with one semester and before you know, start the other.
Yeah, they haven't, that is what I think, they haven't warmed it up. I mean, they just finished it, get their grade and they are already back to school. I mean, I hope this is not going to impact the first assignment because actually we have only 2 weeks on that.
I hope so, but well, it's, yeah.
And they are 2 weeks because they don't have to do any real programming, let's put it this way, for that assignment to design the database, the NoSQL database, HBase, for a certain application, we give you the data, you will have to write just pseudocode. And if you don't know what pseudocode is, we have provided what pseudocode is in the same assignment folder. When you open the assignment, you will find the example.
Oh, the video.
Yes.
Oh, it will save you a lot. Okay. I'm not gonna say, but if you watch the video, you will see something.
No, don't skip any important part. If at some point you are in doubt that you can ask question, what is actually the most important thing. If you cannot discern with the way we articulate, feel free to ask question. And of course, the discussion are very important. I don't want that you guys feel that the discussion is a burden. My goal is that you feel that the discussion are useful for you and you learn it more, exchanging idea with your classmate. Even though, of course, this is a great about the discussion, if you don't participate in the discussion, you jeopardize your grade, because we're talking about 12 points from the final grade, so it's a lot. But I don't want to feel the discussion are burden just to get these points. Try to make them useful. And it doesn't depend only on me, it depends on you. And I very would like that this class make the discussion useful. My practice has shown most of the classes do, but not 100%. Sometimes we have a section without any enthusiasm. And actually, students feel that this is burden. I don't want this feeling. So help yourself. And I'm there to make it enjoyable.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead. Who is speaking?
Hello, my name is Lena Kamara.
Hi, Lena. Go ahead.
You mentioned a few minutes ago a video that said that will be really helpful. Is it about the IBM, about setting up the IBM account?
No, the video is in your assignment folder.
Okay.
When you open assignment 1,
Okay.
there is a video which is an example of pseudocode.
I see.
So because many people don't understand what pseudocode is. Oh, I have to write Java, I will write. No, we are not asking about coding in this first assignment. So this video I was referring is an example of pseudocode and it's must watch. Another video which is in the announcement is how to open a ticket.
Yes,
But it's,
I've opened a ticket before. So
regarding setting up the IBM account, we don't have video, but we have screenshot one by one. So if you are stuck with something, don't hesitate to just open a ticket, not a problem.
Okay.
Don't feel shy about this. Nothing wrong with this.
All right. Thanks for clarifying.
And sometimes if we have to do it this way, I end up doing an individual screen share with students sometimes, because some issues cannot be resolved via back and forth. I need to see your screen. So be open for that option as well. Okay? All right.
Hi, Yelena, this is George. How are you?
Hey, George.
If we do have a problem, do we contact you first before contacting IBM or
Submit the case.
What's that?
You need to submit the Salesforce case in the class.
Oh, the Salesforce case. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me again, you use something which is just making me nervous. Never IBM, never ever you have to contact IBM, okay?
Never.
Never
Okay.
ever. At least until you are student here and you work in the because we are using academic account. And let
Okay.
me put it this way. IBM, they have no idea whatsoever what we do in our classes. This is a cloud, the same cloud they charge people from enterprise to keep their infrastructure for services, so on and on and on. And that company, they have different contract with IBM. We are purely using the cloud as a academic. They give us this opportunity, let's put it this way.
Okay, I understand. I just want to make sure I have that distinction. Thank you.
Okay.
So anytime you need help, you go to that page in the classroom, submit the Salesforce case. Okay. So I mean, don't worry, we'll work on it. And
Yeah.
sometimes, if I need to see your screen, right, for troubleshooting, we're gonna set up the individual screen share, and I'm gonna be using Zoom account as TA. I've got the Zoom account too. So if we have to, we will schedule, and I'll help you. So
Okay.
I mean, I lost count of how many students I helped, so I'll help you also.
So we're talking here in the, every time you have difficult time, just go to course content, help with technology. Just click here and scroll down all the way down, and you will have detailed explanation what to do. Okay?
Yeah, make sure that your email in Salesforce is the one that you actually check, and email is set up correctly, right? And also make sure the email in Leo is the one that you actually check, because sometimes the instructor needs to contact you by email, right? And of course, announcements are the key, because, well, things in the IBM Cloud change as we speak. Sometimes there are adjustments to instructions, okay? And other stuff.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Most welcome, yeah.
Any other question? I see Milton saying thanks. Great, happy to help. And if there are no more questions, we are just, we'll finish the today's session, and we will be posting the recording by tomorrow, together with the PowerPoint presentation. And I wish everyone very, very successful semester, and enjoy, not just as a burden, enjoy the course and the best look. And we are here to help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
We're still
Okay,
trying
have
to
a
breathe.
wonderful evening.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. We're still trying to breathe from 6:40.
Yeah.